Today we're going to teach you how to play the low G and F catches and or grace notes. Stay tuned. Well, hello everybody, I'm Willis Bagpiper, and on this channel I make videos to make you a stronger and more confident piper. If you like this kind of content, please think about giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel, and commenting below with any thoughts you might have. I also give Skype lessons if you want more personalized instruction, but more on that later. In the description below, there is a link to the exercise you see right here, so go ahead, print that out, put it on a tablet, have it in front of you so you can follow along. The low G grace note, or as I like to call it, the low G catch. This is a great kind of low motion that we're going to do to really kind of bring out the low A at the end of many of our tunes. We're also going to do something similar with high A, F to G when we want to give emphasis to the high G. There's not a lot of options on a high G, so that F catch and or grace note is a great way to do that. This is a relatively straightforward embellishment. You can tell there's only 3 lines to the exercise to include 2 different catches. Again, that's what I call the low grace note between 2 other notes. The primary one we're going over today is the low G, and we're going to use it from, well, pretty much any note on the scale, B all the way up to high A. Today we're going to be sampling a bit of the Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve, bottled at 40%. The rum influence is very clear right on the nose. It's got a little of that kind of banana-y kind of notes. Another YouTuber likes to call it the banana funk. So if that's your thing, but it's still, it's got citrus and other fruits. There's a lightness to the nose, but the single malt still comes through. It's a relatively quick arrival, which doesn't surprise me. Again, there is no age statement on this, so it has to be, I believe, at least 3 years old. But that said, it's not overly hot. I think maybe the 40% is helping the arrival not seem overly heated. So there's a bit of a push-pull on the 40%. I think it helps the arrival, but I think it kind of limits some of the exposure to the other flavors in the palate. And the finish is not overly long, but it's very pleasant. It's eminently drinkable. This would be a great malt for a hot day, and I live in Texas, and it's about to be August, so it's quite warm. I could definitely see enjoying a bit of this while maybe grilling up some shrimp or something else. And as always, I'm not sponsored by these whiskeys. I just enjoy a wee bit of whiskey now and then. We're going to use the low G catch primarily on B down to A with a G between them. That's going to be the vast majority of this particular movement you're going to find in the wild. That said, they can happen from just about any note. In fact, the only note it doesn't really work very well on is an A. So in this exercise, we're going to start on a dotted 8th note, B, go down to a 16th note, low G, and then up to an A. We're doing it in this rhythm because the low G catch comes just before the beat, and then you land on your target note on the beat. In this case, that is the low A. I also want to point out that this low G catch or grace note is what I call a sounding tone. And again, a sounding tone is a grace note that is written like a standard grace note, but is longer. It's an audible thing you really want to hear. Our grace notes kind of come in 2 varieties. There's the quick, dynamic, percussive grace notes, like the G, D, and E lifting grace notes, or the quick tapping grace notes, even the low G sometimes, like from D. In this case, though, we want the low G to be just a little bit more deliberate so that we're really hearing just a bit of the sound, a bit of the tone, a bit of the pitch of that low G, so that we really kind of have this nice movement into the A. So let's go ahead and do line 1 of this exercise. I have the metronome set here at 70. You set the metronome where you need to in your world. We're going to have it at 70 here. Don't go too quick. This is about keeping it clean and accurate, not fast. So notice at the end there, we had a low G, G grace note, high G grace note, to another low G, and then up to an A. This is how you can play a catch from the same note you're already on. You would need to kind of emphasize that you're, well, not on the same note. So you're going to be on the low G, you're going to then separate that next low G out, and then go to an A. I don't think I've ever seen a low G with a low G catch up to an A, but it can be done. This is how it would be done. And in the future, I'll have a much more comprehensive list of all of the possible catches that we can have, but that's beyond the scope of what we're needing this for in the Basics series. But when that video is ready, it'll be up here in a card. So check that out if you see it. In the next line, I'm pretty much going to do exactly the same thing. I might be holding the note just a little bit longer than the 3/4 of a beat that I did last time, but really it's going to feel the same, but now it's written out the way it's going to look in the wild when you're looking at pipe music. So get that nice and clean. It ends so many tunes. High Road to Gairloch, Scotland the Brave. It's in a bunch of stuff. So get this clean. Make sure you can hear that G. It shouldn't be so quick that it's not really audible. It doesn't need to sound like a click. It needs to sound like a bwah. For the F catch and or lowering grace note, in this case, we're only going to be doing it from a high A. We could absolutely do it from other notes, but in the context of this, for the beginner, this is how you're going to find it in the basic pipe repertoire you're going to be learning. So we're only going to be doing it from high A to a G with an F in the middle. So we're going to do it twice, where you can see, again, the dotted 8th note A, then going to an F 16th note to a quarter note G. We'll do that twice, and then I'm going to go straight into the next one, which is, again, it's going to sound like basically the same thing, but you'll get to see how it really looks in pipe music when you run into it. If you're going to be learning the high hand version of Scotland the Brave, in line 3, you're almost certainly going to run into one of these. It's also in line 3 of Green Hills of Tyrol. Right there, as you're going from that high A, F to G. Now, this is probably above where you're at if you're just following this video by video, but those are a few examples of common tunes that you're going to be learning and where some of these things occur. It's a bit of a shorter video, but I think that's just fine. They don't all have to be long videos. So get your low G catches or grace notes or whatever you want to call them under control, as well as that A, F grace note to G, and, well, your music will be better for it. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you got something out of this, please think about giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel, commenting below with any thoughts you have, and sharing with any other pipers you might think could, well, get something out of this. And there's a link down below to some merchandise that I've recently launched with the Command Your Bagpipe logo. I think it looks pretty good. There's pillows, there's a water bottle here, we got a coffee mug, stickers, all that kind of stuff. Of course, quite a few different shirts. Check it out. I don't know, bagpipe merchandise is fun and it helps show the world that you command your bagpipe. If you want a more personalized instruction, I do give Skype and online lessons. Go ahead and head over to www.mattpiper.com or email me at the link you see right here and we'll get you going. I'm working with folks from all over the planet. I hope to work with you soon. And if you wanted to go the extra mile, I also have a Patreon where as little as $1 a month goes a really long way to helping support the channel. So check out the link right there and head over there. There's early access to many of my videos and a couple bits of unique Patreon-only content. So check that out. Think about joining that community. All right, everybody, I'm Matt Willis Bagpiper, and until next time, cheers.